Well, I think this is my first full-blown motorcycle review for the 2017 model year, and somehow I lucked out on the Motorcycle.com list of cool shit to do before Christmas, because I am in Qatar for the KTM 1290 Super Duke R press intro. Now, if you've seen our videos or read any of our reviews before, the Super Duke has been one of our favorite motorcycles. It came out just 2 years ago. It was our 2014 Bike of the Year. In shootouts since then, you know, it's won a bunch of them. It's come head to head with the Aprilia Tuono a lot of times, but here we are with a new model for 2017, so now the Tuono's got some catching up to do. So big stuff for the new model is not going to be engine, really. They did do a lot of tweaks to the engine, but primarily like engine performance is about the same. It has about 500 RPM more than the old engine, so there's a little bit more rev, which is kind of cool because here at LaSalle, you know, basically there's 2 moderately slow corners and everything else is fast and faster. So there's a couple of corners out here where maybe on the old model I might tap into 5th gear, where on this guy I can hold 4th gear and it, you know, gets right up to there, and just then you can hit the brakes, back off, maybe downshift back into 3rd, because really with the torque and performance of this engine, you're really not getting lower than 3rd gear around LaSalle. So some cosmetic changes that they did, the 2 big things are going to be at the rear of the bike. They removed some of the plastic and exposed the trellis frame, which gives it a little bit more industrial look. Totally cool. It kind of shrinks the back end of the bike. It makes it look smaller from behind. At the front of the bike, you got this new LED headlight setup. And, you know, it looks a little bit like a praying mantis who got hit by a fly swatter. You know, subjective. Some guys are going to like it, some guys are not. I think it's cool, it's aggressive, it's different. Suspension-wise, you're still using WP front end and rear end. Now they've done some changes to those as well, little tweaks. We'll get into the details for the written review of this motorcycle, but you know, fundamentally about the same. Chassis is the same. It still has the same rake and trail. It's got the same wheelbase. The seating position is a little bit different. The like seat to foot peg ratio is still fantastic. What they did was change the handlebar layout some. You've got, they're a little bit shorter, wider, so it gets you a little bit more in aggressive position. You know, without a 2016 model here to compare it to, you know, it still seems fantastically comfortable. We didn't do much street riding on this one. This is pretty much a track intro. So again, it's kind of hard to tell the comfort on the street. You know, on the track, it's fantastic because it's more aggressive. One of the big additions they did is get rid of the key. It is now a keyless setup. So you've got a fob, you've got a little button up here that you can, you know, turn it on and off with. Pretty cool. You can actually remove this plastic cover on the tank. There's a little place to hide it, so if you're at a track day like we are today, you put your key fob under there and you don't have to worry about it. Now, another electronic nicety that they added to the Super Duke R is going to be cruise control, which again, we here at Mo just love to have on our street bikes. That comes stock on just the base model one. Now, one of the other, you know, big additions for 2017 is going to be electronics as well, and 2 packages. They've got a performance package and then they got a track package. The prices haven't been released exactly for US models yet. Now, why the performance package is more expensive? Because it has a up and down auto blipping quick shifter. And out here at the track, man, I mean, just fantastic. On the street, again, we don't know. We didn't ride it much on the street, and not at all with the quick shifter. So, you know, we can't comment on it, but, you know, you can switch it off. And so, if, like a lot of other quick shifters, if it doesn't work so hot on the street, you know, you can turn it off and then you don't have to really mess with it. The track pack, and what that gets you is a lot of adjustability in the performance of the bike. And I think a lot of guys were asking for this since the bike's intro. Because before, you have your 3 ride modes, you have your sport, street, and rain, and tied to those were preset settings for TC and ABS and, you know, your throttle sensitivity. Now, with the track pack, you can get in there, put it in track mode, and you can select like track for your throttle sensitivity, which gives you the most aggressive setting. You can also dial in your TC, which I think it has 1 through 9 settings, which are adjustable on the fly. Same left hand up here, pretty easy. It just defaults to that, the TC settings. And you also get like a launch control. So yeah, that's, you know, kind of why the 2 are, you know, the pricing differences. Performance, I mean, out here in the track, it's the same wonderfully performing Super Duke R that we had in last year's model. It's going to be interesting, once we can get it to, a tighter track or put it up against, a 2-owner or some of his competitors to see how it does. But I wouldn't be surprised for this guy to just keep carrying the mantle of one of the best, naked bikes out there. And boy, when we get this back to the offices, look out for a lot more shootouts with this bike in 2017.